Section 9 of Poems of American History, the Colonial Era. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Poems of American History, the Colonial Era, Chapter 2, In the Wake of Columbus, Part 4. Until the middle of the 16th century, Spain was the only nation which had succeeded in establishing colonies in the New World. In 1583, Sir Humphrey Gilbert secured permission from Queen Elizabeth to set out on a voyage of discovery and colonization for the glory of England. He landed at St. John's, Newfoundland, August 5, and established there the first English colony in America. Then he sailed away to explore further, and met the fate described in the poem. The colony proved a failure. Sir Humphrey Gilbert, 1583. Southward with fleet of ice sailed the courser Death. Wild and fast blew the blast, and the east wind was his breath. His lordly ships of ice glisten in the sun. On each side, like pennons wide, flashing crystal streamlets run. His sails of white sea mist dripped with silver rain, but where he passed there were cast leaden shadows o'er the main. Eastward from Campobello Sir Humphrey Gilbert sailed. 3 days or more seaward he bore. Then, alas, the land wind failed. Alas, the land wind failed, and ice cold grew the night, and never more on sea or shore should Sir Humphrey see the light. He sat upon the deck. The book was in his hand. "Do not fear. Heaven is as near," he said, "by water as by land." In the first watch of the night, without a signal's sound, out of the sea mysteriously the fleet of death rose all around. The moon and the evening star were hanging in the shrouds. Every mast, as it passed, seemed to rake the passing clouds. They grappled with their prize. At midnight, black and cold, as of a rock was the shock, heavily the ground swell rolled. Southward through day and dark they drift in close embrace, with mist and rain o'er the open main, yet there seems no change of pace. Southward, forever southward, they drift through dark and day, and like a dream in the Gulf Stream, sinking, vanish all away. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. With the destruction of the Armada in 1588, Spain's sea power was so shattered that the Atlantic ceased to be a battleground. English sailors could come and go with a fair degree of safety, and before long the American coast was alive with these daring and adventurous voyagers. The first American sailors. 5 fearless knights of the first renown in Elizabeth's great array, from Plymouth in Devon sailed up and down. American sailors they, who went to the west, for they all knew best where the silver was gray as a moonlit night, and the gold as bright as a midsummer day, a-sailing away through the sea salt spray, the first American sailors. Sir Humphrey Gilbert, he was one, and Devon was heaven to him. He loved the sea as he loved the sun, and hated the dawn as the devil's limb, hated him up to the brim. In Holland the Spanish hide he tanned, he roughed and routed their braggart band, and God was with him on sea and land. Newfoundland knew him, and all that coast, for he was one of America's host. And now there is nothing but English speech for leagues and leagues and reach on reach, from near the equator away to the pole, while the billows beat and the oceans roll on the 3 Americas. Sir Francis Drake, and he was 2, and Devon was heaven to him. He loved in his heart the waters blue, and hated the dawn as the devil's limb, hated him up to the brim. At Cadiz he singed the king's black beard. The Armada met him and fled afeard. Great Philip's golden fleece he sheared. Oregon knew him and all that coast, for he was one of America's host. And now there is nothing but English speech for leagues and leagues and reach on reach, from California away to the pole, while the billows beat and the oceans roll on the three Americas. Sir Walter Raleigh, he was 3, and Devon was heaven to him. There was nothing he loved so well as the sea. He hated the dawn as the devil's limb, hated him up to the brim. He settled full many a Spanish score, full many's the banner his bullets tore on English, American, Spanish shore. Guiana knew him and all that coast, for he was one of America's host. And now there is nothing but English speech for leagues and leagues and reach on reach, from Guiana northward to the pole, while the billows beat and the oceans roll on the three Americas. Sir Richard Grenville, he was 4, and Devon was heaven to him. He loved the waves and their windy roar, and hated the dawn as the devil's limb, hated him up to the brim. He whipped him on land and mocked him at sea. He laughed to scorn his sovereignty, and with the Revenge beat his 53. Virginia knew him and all that coast, for he was one of America's host. And now there is nothing but English speech for leagues and reach on reach, from the Old Dominion away to the pole, while the billows beat and the oceans roll on the three Americas. And Sir John Hawkins, he was 5, and Devon was heaven to him. He worshipped the water while he was alive, and hated the dawn as the devil's limb, hated him up to the brim. He chased him over the Spanish main, he scoffed and defied the navies of Spain. His cities he ravished again and again. The Gulf, it knew him and all that coast, for he was one of America's host. And now there is nothing but English speech for leagues and reach on reach, from the Rio Grande away to the pole, while the billows beat and the oceans roll on the three Americas. 5 fearless knights have filled gallant graves these many and many a day. Some under the willows, some under the waves, American sailors they, and still in the west is their valor blessed, where a banner bright with the ocean's blue and the red rack's hue and the spoondrift's white is smiling today through the salt sea spray upon American sailors. Wallace Rice. End of section 9.